So this is Sariri Kallpa Ito uh,
Ethel.
Eto from Peru that I met. I'm really happy to interview her today. She's my first person that I'm interviewing. She's a really beautiful mother and medicine woman from Peru. She could probably explain a little bit about herself and her lineage and where she comes from and her background.
Well, I normally don't talk about myself, but I guess it is important for people to know. I was born in Peru. My father is from the highlands, the Andes. My mom is from the jungle, the northern part of Peru in the jungle. And of course, I have blood from Spain because we were conquered by the Spaniards. And so my parents left Peru when I was a baby. And so I grew up away from my traditions in a manner of speaking, but I have a particular little lady, old lady with long black, white hair that always followed me and taught me everything. And also, I was born remembering a lot of things, remembering being in Peru, remembering being in the States, remembering being in other parts of the planet and other, you want to call it other planets, that's fine, other civilizations, other cultures in other places that is not the Earth. So for me, it was very hard to grow up in this world because it was like everybody's asleep. Finally, I can put it in words now. Of course, for when I was a kid, I couldn't explain it because I didn't have a point of reference. People were looking at me like I was weird. I realized people were not awake, didn't remember. That was my first realization. People didn't remember where they came from, who they were, or why they choose to be born here right now. And so for me, it was a shock. Was a shock. That was like, what happened? Not the way it's supposed to happen. Because I remember planning this lifetime and some things that were supposed to be uh, I think some scenarios that were supposed to be in certain way and they were not that way. So my life had gone through so many. It's been like a storm, trying to figure out where my feet are and what where I'm standing, what's going on, where do I fit. I came to do something, but people are not ready for it. People don't remember, people don't are not aware, people are so caught up in this petty physical material world and they don't go beyond that. Including my parents. I was raised a strict Catholic. um, I used to get nauseous in church and pass out, and I could see spirits. I could see dead people. Like I have visions. I have dreams. I have met people that I knew them before. Like when I was a kid, I have visions of my husband. I knew who he was when I met him. I knew about my son. I knew about my daughter. I knew my parents. I knew my brother. I knew a lot of people in my family and friends and teachers who had come into my life. I knew them ahead of time, and places also. I haven't gone to all the places I know I need to go, uh, but I'm getting there. And so, not being able to grow up in my own country helped me open my mind. Why? Because I think I would have been a very strict, narrow minded um, person who will be stuck to the tradition. This is the way it is, and you don't bend the rules, you don't change because this is the way it's been done for centuries. So during my childhood, I was forced to open my mind, accept all the realities, and see how can I blend what I know with what's going on in my surroundings. Even now, after spending 7 years in Peru, I'm being 100% merged into my culture, my tradition, and going to sacred places and meetings and gatherings every week, connecting with sacred plants and sharing everything and living a wonderful, because for me, living that way is wonderful. It's my ideal. It's not reality. It's an ideal. Reality is here, everyday life with the mundane, with the material. It's where we need to put in practice what we do in ceremony. And so coming back to the States brought me back to my challenge, because it's a challenge for me, of how to merge my tradition in a place where I don't have for us, coca, the leaf, the plant is very sacred, but there's no coca here. In fact, it's considered a drug. It's, and Palo Santo, which is a kind of wood from a sacred plant, agua de Florida, well, I can make it, I guess, and herbs and plants and many things that we use and we connect with in ceremony are not available here. The sacred places are not here, obviously, because this is a different country. So I need to connect with the sacred places here, connect with the sacred plants that are native from here. And many years ago, I realized that the best people to connect are the Native American Indians. I never purposely looked for them because I had no clue where were they. Where I live, it's not like you go to the supermarket and say, oh, cool, look, there's a Native American Indian person there. You know, that stupid way of thinking, I realized. They are normal people like you and me. But I had to connect with them in a different level. So even though I didn't consciously ask to connect with them, I may have had the unconscious feeling and attracted always wherever I went and lived, even after I left my parents' home, attracted Native American Indian people. So I was invited to many ceremonies. I lived actually for years in New Mexico, which is like a zillion different pueblos, and had powwows and gatherings. It was like being in Peru. They were everywhere. I was so thrilled. Oh, I loved it. So I learned, not a lot, but some of their ceremonies, songs, which I have not given permission to share because they are private, and something that a lot of people don't understand, especially in Peru. And I've been told, but they're not here to know. Just sing them. I said, no, I was told not to share them, so I'm not sharing them. Anyway, so this merging of cultures that I found myself in the middle of have forced me to open my mind even more so, to understand both sides. The people in Peru have never left the country and view the foreigners with a very made up, ideal of how they are. People here in the United States with the same idea about people in South America is this fantasy that many times have nothing to do with reality, and how to merge them both, how to be flexible, how to know when to bend the rules, know when to be okay in a ceremony that I don't have my particular kind of tobacco that I'm used to, that I don't have my coca, that I don't have my palo santo, that I don't have my herbs that I'm used to having, that I cannot call the apus because they are too far away. I need to call the other entities and sacred beings that are in the surroundings, because I'm not in Peru, I'm here in the States. So it's when one thinks about it, might think, well, that's easy. It's not, because we're talking about energy.
Mm.
It's not the physical. It's not the physical. It's not dressing up like with all my wairurus or my seeds and my clothes from my country and braid my hair and my headband and all my regalia and look like wow,
Mm.
that's an eggshell, an empty eggshell. It's pretty, very pretty. I won't deny there are outfits that are just stunning, but it's just a look,
Mm.
and that's not what it is all about. It's about energy, about what you don't see with with your eyes. It's what you hear without your physical ears. It's what you feel without touching. Is sharpening your senses. Society take us away from all that since we're born. Everything is material, is physical. You don't touch it, you don't smell it, you don't taste it. It doesn't exist. It's so ingrained in our heads that it's hard to recognize that it's there. And that's why many times people can't connect because they think, but I believe that. You have to sit down and meditate, go inside of yourself and be honest.
Mm.
Be honest, not with the world. You have to be honest with yourself and say, holy, I really don't believe in this. I want to, but it's a part of me that is holding me back. Why? Maybe you heard a story that made you scared when you were a kid. Maybe you had a vision that freaked you out and you forgot about it. You don't even want to remember, but it's there ruling your life. Why? Our brain is a computer. The programmings are there that we put in there. We allow the society to put programmings in our brain. When we're children, we are at the mercy of our parents, our family, and the system. Once we leave the home, we are at the mercy of ourselves. So that's when we make the changes. Of what do I believe? How do I run my life? What am I looking for?
Mm.
That's what I did. I left my parents' house in search of who am I? How do I fit in this world? What I brought with me, how do I utilize it to make sense of my life? And so the search began. And the search began much since I was little, but independent, 100% as a independence being, me. When I was 25 is when I left my parents because I just couldn't do it anymore. I come from a very dysfunctional family, but we all come from dysfunctional family. That's another thing everybody needs to understand. It's not comparing about mine was worse than yours. No, I suffered from this and you did it. No, we all come from dysfunctional families. We all are broken. We all are looking for being able to be put back together. And we all want to be taught lovingly, patiently, and lovingly. But we don't do it because it's a vicious cycle of the patterns and programmings that we have in our little computer.
Mm.
So before we want to heal somebody, being the medicine person, because now is the thing to do, you know, I heal you, I'll cure you, I'll do this for you. But guess what? That's a nice intention. Nobody can heal me
Mm.
until I say, okay, I'm going to do it. You can clear my energy from outside, my little eggshell. You can clear it, and I will appreciate it because it will feel lighter. But inside the eggshell, all that putrid gunk is my business, and nobody else can do it for me. I had to do it myself. Everybody had to do it themselves. That's why it's, I know it sounds like I'm criticizing all these healers and medicine people and all that stuff. Of course, maybe in a way I'm human. I do have my own opinions, and some people are not gonna like it. I'm not a piece of gold to be liked by everybody. So being a foreigner all my life, I learned to deal with the insult, discrimination, and on top of being weird, uh, like, with all the things I used to believe and do, and people were always afraid of me, and people, when they get fearful, they attack,
Mm.
and not very friendly attacks. But anyway, that's another story. So ultimately, why are we having all this awakening with native cultures and sacred
Mm.
knowledge? Is because we need to start taking care of our crap and stop going to the medicine person. Do me a healing. I want to take this sacred plant so I can. And don't get me wrong, sacred plants are important, but they will pointing out, like I say, look, you see that cut you have there that is all have pus and it's all gunky, and well, take care of that first. That's what a sacred plant is gonna do.
Mm.
It might be very friendly with you, very loving, or it might be very rude and hard.
Mm.
It depends on you. But what the sacred plant is gonna say is gonna point to the things you need to work on. Might even give you the way of how to do it. But the one that has to do it is you, nobody else.
Mm.
You can lie to yourself all you want and be the and the with the drum and the whole thing. And I am a healer. I am a curandera. I am a medicine woman. Um, Chévere, fine. I respect that. Your own crap is that your own crap. Sooner or later, you have to deal with it.
Mm.
When you're in ceremony, when you dedicate your life to the sacred plants, life is fun. Life is interesting. You are doing something good. Don't get me wrong. You are doing something good. You're helping people. But you have to understand you're helping people just a little bit.
Mm.
And yeah, that little bit is important. But usually what you see outside is what needs to be seen inside.
Mm.
You need to look inside. If you get somebody with these particular problems, if they are a lot of psychological or a lot of emotional, a lot of physical, uh, maybe it's telling me something that I need to check on myself. The mirror thing, now everybody talks about, oh, you're a mirror of me or that person, that situation. Yes and no.
Mm.
Okay, that's a very simplistic way to explain something that is um, not complex, but has a different depth. We're talking about energies, something that very few people really understand, very few people trying to learn. It's not about, oh, I want to see spirits. Okay, yeah, you see spirits. What is it telling you? One, two. Do you know that in the spirit world, they can change, shift, and they will present to you in whatever way you want to see them, not necessarily the way they look,
Mm.
meaning they can trick you. How can you tell? You have to study and train deeper into what energy is all about. So you're going to see right through the mask, because even in the spirit world, they have eggshells and
Mm.
they put themselves all pretty with their feathers or their native log. And I'm an abuelita, or I'm a grandfather is so and so. And it's just who knows who trying to fool you. I mean, if we in the physical world, we require a document to prove who we are, the social security number, your driver's license, your this and that to prove who you are. So in the spirit world, you can say whatever and everybody's gonna believe you. I mean, a little bit of common sense, people. I'm not saying they are bad spirits.
Mhm. How would you discern the difference between a benevolent spirit and an honest spirit in comparison to an inauthentic spirit? How would you
Yeah.
discern?
First of all, it goes exactly the same way of how you meet somebody.
Mm.
First, you go by your first impression. You had a good impression? Good. Then you try to meet the person more. You go out, you have talks, you go out for dinner, invite them for lunch, get to know the person more. Don't judge what they do. That's very superficial. I mean, you could do it. We're humans. We belong to the physical world. We will do that. But that should not be the only thing, which most of us do. If it makes you feel good most of the time or all the time, if when you are connecting with that spirit, it's always for the good, gives you good positive advice, makes you feel energized after and during the encounter, most likely is a good spirit who's trying to help. If it makes you feel down, makes you feel guilty, scares you in any way, maybe with some words, maybe with their presence, you feel drained, you feel tired, um, you start having nightmares, obviously. It's a big no. Not somebody you want to hang out with. In the spirit world, you treat them the same way as a human person. The same way to get to know is with the plants is the same way. We don't use the plants. We connect with the plants.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like if I only call you when I need something?
Oh,
You're gonna start feeling used.
yeah. Yeah.
Even if you are, let's say, master, and that's what you do for a living. At one point, you're gonna tell the person, you know something, you need to start doing your own work. I'm not here to resolve your life.
Mhm.
Sacred plant, spirits is the same. It's very simple. Takes time to get to know each other.
Oh.
It's a relationship.
Mm.
And like we say in Spanish, or you can say it in English too, well, if you don't tend the fire will go off, right?
Mm.
Se enfría la sopa. The soup will get cold if you don't tend the soup.
Mm.
The relationship with spirit, with a particular spirit or spirits, the relationship with a sacred plant is the same. You don't use them. We are in a world of duality. People forget about that. Everything that has light has darkness. And the same, everything that is dark has light.
Oh.
What do you want to connect with? Even a dark spirit, a negative spirit that comes to you, say, hi, what are you doing here? Yeah, he's doing his thing to scare you and putting all the goo and gun and stuff. How do you how do you deal with that? You know, everything is in the movies. Most people have seen Harry Potter, right? There's the mentors. There are these like black entities that have a hole and suck your energy and all the happiness when you, well, guess what? Those things are real. That's the way it is. Those dark entities, they usually come at night when you're sleeping to suck your energy.
Mhm.
That's what they eat. They're not bad. It's what they eat. But okay, you go eat somewhere else. Not with my stuff. Not with me. So you see them, you freaked out. How do you handle yourself? Start breathing. With the breathing, you control your fear. Why? Fear comes instantly, always, even to the best. Fear comes instantly. So how do you manage that? Breathing. Breathe deep, hold, breathe out, slow
Mhm.
onto your heart, and everything gets a little bit more under control. And then, just like in Harry Potter movie, how do you make that shield? It has a name for the Dementors. Positive thoughts, positive, happy memories.
Mhm.
You can't hold a thought? Well, then you need to meditate more on how holding thoughts is important. That's how you handle the spirit world. That's how you handle that energy.
Mhm.
Holding a thought, holding an emotion. Okay, figure out puppies. They are cute. See yourself playing with puppies and happy and laughing with children, playing at the beach, going into the forest. Nice stuff. Draw hearts in the air. I don't know. Paint the Dementor, the entity in pink. Whatever. Do it in your mind. Do it with your hands or start talking. Oh, you look pretty in pink. Look, I have my puppy here. You like stuffed animals? You have a stuffed animal. Whatever. Anything that makes you happy and makes you feel good.
Mhm.
The entity is going to look at you like, what's going on here? She's not scared. It's like the cartoon movie Monsters Inc.
Mhm.
The same.
Mhm.
Look at each other. They collect screams from little kids because that's their food, that's their battery. So you don't feed them with your fear. They'll go away.
Mhm.
It's practice. Entities, spirits, nightmares, they happen all the time. Well, you have a lot to practice with. So, just a second. I need to close this window. It's getting dark here. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Wow, you answered a lot of go. You answered so many of the questions, but I guess, you know, I wanted to ask more about the two also. Thank you also for everything that you shared. You go and spirit works through you, and there's a lot of things I needed to hear and I was feeling it. So thank you, thank you. I felt like that was beautiful. That was that was more than I asked for, or that, but I guess people need to hear it, right? And hear you and your medicine. So thank you for your medicine, and I honor that. And I honor the way that we're communicating and you expressing yourself, because I know that our history as indigenous people has been oral, and it's never really recorded. And I know it's a new time, but a lot of the younger generation connect basis on social media, and especially right now in quarantine, and there's like, you know, there's a fine line between sharing information, too much information, and then, you know, sharing, like you wouldn't share that song, right? You wouldn't share your ceremony, but it's like we're communicating and trying to reach to the younger generations to uplift them in their walk, in their spirit walk, to normalize the way of the spirit. And this brings me to the prophecy of the seventh generation. The prophecy of the seventh generation, I'm not sure if you heard about it, but it's from the Native Americans of Turtle Island, which is also South America too. So I'm not sure if this prophecy is known in Peru, but maybe there's more information that you can speak about, or amplify through your medicine about what does the prophecy mean for us. I guess I could explain. For us, it says when the European and the Native Americans lived in close contact for 7 spans, then a transformation will happen for all of humanity where we go back to the earth way. And I'm wondering, what does this 7th generation mean to you? What does this prophecy mean to you? What, how could we love each other better through this prophecy? And what, how do you see it in your life? And what does this, yeah, how does this feel inside of your heart? And you know, is Mother Earth speaking to you at this time, and saying anything to you, and you want to share a message for the people, and to uplift them in these times?
Well, the 7 generations, I have heard that a little bit here in the States. I honestly haven't read about it or purposely looking to understand what it means. I stopped trying to do that with a lot of things long time ago. Because of the fact that I didn't grow up in my own country and that I've been forced to be more flexible and open-minded, I feel that following certain things and getting to know certain things will make me a little bit not too rigid.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to maintain the fluidity of life in ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So I will tell you what I have felt for a long time and the memory I remember when I was born. It may be related with the 7th generation, it may not. But having said that, what I always known since I was born is that these times were crucial. We, all the people that have been born during this time, came to wake up or wake up other people, help wake up other people.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it is important to go back to the native ways because it's the way more connected to the earth, more connected with each other, more connected with oneself, which is the way we have lived so far, and the way we have lived our built our society goes against it. And we shouldn't blame the government or the society if it's something detached from ourselves. No,
Mm-hmm.
we were part of building that crap. This is not the only time we have been born here. No,
Mm-hmm.
we're part of that crap. So if we want to change that, first of all, we need to stop making divisions and take responsibility. It is important to remember past lives for the one and only reason to bring back our wisdom that we acquire in that lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
In the 10, 20, 50, 100 lifetimes on this planet or any other planets or any other realities, the wisdom. Who was I? Was I important person? Am I Indian princess? Sorry. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you were or what you did. The wisdom that you acquired in that lifetime is what you need to bring here now.
Mm-hmm.
They could have put a veil to our memory when we are born, but they cannot erase it. It's there. We had to dig. It's like digging a hole that is few miles deep. It's gonna take work, and I don't have any help from anybody. It's me and my shovel, me and my shovel. That's it. So I have to do it. That wisdom needs to be present in this lifetime, right now, right here. The virus came to stop the world. We stopped, we went to zero from going at miles per hour really fast alive to nothing. A lot of people have understood it and have woken up. A lot of other people have not been able to understand it and have continued wishing for the life they had. It's never gonna come back. It's time to make changes.
Mm-hmm.
Ceremonies, gatherings are still important, but It's time to make ceremony at home, when you cook, when you do grocery shopping, when you're raising your kids, when you're fighting with your partner, when you're fighting with your neighbor.
Yes.
That's ceremony. That's ceremony. Right there, you have to put in practice everything that you have done in all those ceremonies and gatherings. That's the real life. That's the real practice.
Mm.
Stop the division. Oh, he's not Indian enough for me.
Mm.
So you were white in a past life. You were Chinese in a past life. You were black in a past life. You were a Spaniard that destroyed South American in the past life. You were British or Portuguese or French that came and destroyed United States and the Native American Indians. You shot people. You killed people. We all have done it.
Mm.
That we need to remember.
Mm.
We have been in both sides. We have done it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We have done it all. So it's time to stop pointing fingers, stop making divisions, and stop looking at each other and start looking at each other as spirits full of wisdom that we came to share. That's why the medicine man and woman is not gonna be a native. It's gonna be a black person, a Chinese person, a black person.
Mm.
That's why a lot of white people are attracted to the native ways. Black people, Chinese people. They go to South America. They want to learn. They learn our native language, Quechua. Many of them speak it better than the natives
Mm.
because they've been there before. They have done it before.
Mm.
They come with a different shell now. That's all. We have done it all. So, knowing that, important to bring my wisdom from my past lives, start looking at each other like we're truly the same. Just instead of having a red shirt, you have, well, you have a red shirt too, a purple, or, it's the outside. We say it, but we don't believe it.
Mm.
We need to believe it. There are people who are very rude, very mean, they discriminate, and they truly just hate. They're asleep. They're asleep. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're saying. We're not going to wake up everybody. It is not my responsibility to wake up people. I came to help. We all came to help. But it's ultimately the person's responsibility to wake up, to do what they said they came to do. They still have the free will to choose not to do it. Fine. There's not punishment. Just something else is gonna come for them after the life here. That's all. There's no such a thing as punishment. No. There's no such a thing as a lower evolved soul and higher evolved souls. That is making discrimination. That is making division. So it goes everywhere. In ceremony too. When somebody thinks it's too important to listen to the little person that just came for the first time, or you're just new, you don't know anything, you need to sit down and listen. No. That's why we sit in a circle. Circle has no beginning and no end. Everybody's equal. Everybody knows. Bring your wisdom from your past life and share it in the circle. If you're sitting in the circle, it's for sharing. Share your wisdom. Everybody has it. We need to be able to listen. Maybe I'm older than you in this lifetime. I'm 58, and you're, I don't know, you don't have to say it if you don't want, but 20
23.
something. Wow, very young. Maybe I have lived in this lifetime a little longer than you. Doesn't mean, this is a little complex in a way that doesn't mean I know more than you. The only thing that means is I have had more years of life here and I have experienced other things than you. I have more stories to tell in this lifetime than you. That's all. Or maybe not. Maybe my life is been so simple and so nice and so in this one little town that I don't have many stories to share.
Mm.
It doesn't matter.
Mm.
That's comparing. That's dividing.
Mm.
When we welcome everything without judging, easy said that done. Happens to me all the time. I find myself judging.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Mm-hmm.
if we need to say sorry, I spoke too fast. I judge you too fast. Just say it and move on. Don't dwell on it also.
Mm.
You stick your foot in your mouth, pues. Te toca decir, you need to say sorry. Well, say it and move on. Not a big deal. That's another thing. People make big deals about mistakes. Why? We all do it all the time.
Mm.
Doesn't make me a bad person. Doesn't make me a person who says one thing and does another thing. No. It makes me a human being
Mm.
that is not 100% right there.
Mm-hmm.
Can't. The nature of this reality doesn't allow us to do it. In the spirit world, in a different energy, in a different frequency, then maybe. But in this world, no. Now, if you're a person who's always sticking your foot in your mouth and you have to say sorry way too many times, then that's a different story. Then you need to work on controlling yourself a little bit more. Give yourself time to think, to process it,
Mm-hmm.
and then later on say something.
Mm-hmm.
Grandfather tobacco, for example, help us with that.
Mm.
One of the teachings that tobacco has is take us to silence,
Mm.
take us to that dark space inside of ourselves that we can look at ourselves and be honest with ourselves. Tobacco has become popular again among many other sacred plants. But people don't understand how to connect. First of all, we need to change some words. Ultimately, at the end, it doesn't matter. But for the understanding of a limited human brain,
Mm.
it's necessary to change some words. We don't smoke,
Mm.
we connect.
Mm.
We don't use tobacco, we connect.
Mm.
We're getting together, we're having a gathering, you and me right now. I'm not using you, you're not using me. So why use that word with tobacco or any sacred plant?
Mm.
Because it's not human. It's very disrespectful. The intention, of course, tobacco understands and doesn't pay attention to those little things. But if our mind, if our little computer, it does have an effect. I'm using people. I'm using the plants. I'm using the things. So there's not a true connection. It's a psychological thing too. We are made of various bodies, and all of them need to be addressed
Mm.
because that's where we stall. That's where we get blocked. We don't go inside ourselves and we don't understand how we function. Where are you gonna find that thing in that labyrinth that is our brain?
Mm. Wow, you bring a lot of unity with just the words that you speak. Everything is unity, unity, unity. So thank you for that. And thank you for your bluntness. I really hope that people can relate to the bluntness and just, the straightforwardness of just telling it how it is. Because I mean, I want to be gentle though, because I see a lot of my own people being a Plains native from Turtle Island or, the States. I see a lot of my relatives going through like blaming and blaming, and you need to do this and you need to do this to support. people of color, and you need, and like, and you know, kind of throwing the responsibility of caring for their own emotions out of their hand. And like, I want to be gentle with that, because I'm like, oh, you know, I understand the process, because I'm also healing generations. We're all kind of healing generations of trauma from our ancestors. And you know, it's interesting too. I connect to your story of not being grown up in that way, but you know, searching for that way and then finding it and being like, you know, this is a part of me, but this physicality is a part of me too. And there's other, it's all a balancing act almost. And like you said, you had like a interesting time at that powwow, and I'm just, you know, curious, like what you felt and how, you know, what message would you would relay to Plains native. And because there is like a push for separation on social media, I see it all the time, you know, that, yeah, that person's not Indian enough, or you know, I probably wouldn't look Indian enough for some people, so I don't have as many followers, or you know, as like real native people from the reservation. And it's just like, I don't know, as we're so mixed as indigenous people, we're so unique, regardless of what makes you, you know, Indian. But I'm just curious on what you would share with the Plains people, and so I could help spread a message to the native people of this land that I connect with, the Mexica people. You know, it's really being pushed in the media, but I also feel like that pushing is like a catalyst for change and transformation, but also healing, and allowing the space for healing and releasing for the trauma. But it's also what my friend, my Apache friend from the reservation told me. He says it's a cycle, and he's like, I have to talk to my own ancestors and tell them that like the white man isn't my enemy anymore, but there is like all, it's hard to say because there's all these policies that it's easy to blame the white man, right? Or like blame the democracy of not giving Navajo people in New Mexico running water, right? Or you know, like there's so many different things. But there's also people on the res who, you know, have babies, and then they have babies to get more money to then go and buy like alcohol and drugs with. So it's like there is a cycle that we do do to ourselves, but I feel like there's a lack of space given and held for wisdom and knowledge. And maybe it's because people like the cycle and the stagnicity. But I'm just curious, you know, with all that reflection, I don't know, I really want to be there for my people and my relatives in a good way, and hold space, but also, you know, bring the unity like you were saying. And I'm just curious, you know, being from Peru, and you know, a medicine woman that you are, and someone on this island as well, you know, like what do you have any advice or any, you know, heartfelt messages for yeah, what's being promoted, or you know, any wisdom about that?
Well, first of all, like I said, you, me, are not responsible for waking up anybody. Even though we came with a purpose, we're not responsible for anybody's path. You are responsible for your own. Why? The day you die, you go on your own. You're not grabbing, okay, all my followers, it's time, let's go. No, you go alone. So it's not my responsibility. Having said that, there's a difference between being responsible for other people's path and being responsible and true to what I chose to come to do. I came and I volunteered to come to help. There's a difference being responsible for other people's path versus helping, guiding, and sharing what I know. And that may trigger that other person to wake up to some of his wisdom or her wisdom. Okay? So it's like planting little seeds Let's hope they sprout. It's like going to a person and say, hey, 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 precious, it's time to wake up. Get off the bed. Okay, you did your, the rest is up to them. That's a big difference. We're no messiahs. We're no rescuers.
Uh-huh.
I didn't come here to carry you.
I surrender.
Hello, no, I'm not gonna walk for you. You have to walk your own path. Wear
Mm.
your own moccasins and walk on your own 2 feet. We can walk together. Sometimes I can walk ahead of you to guide you. Sometimes I can walk behind you because you can guide me too. But it's better to walk side to side to share. But I can't carry you because sooner or later I'm gonna go. And what are you gonna do? I create somebody who depends on me. That's not right.
Mm.
That is against the universal laws. I
Mm.
cripple that person. Then I have a bigger responsibility for what I did to that person.
Mm.
I didn't come to cripple anybody. So why do I talk the way I talk? Because life had taught me. Um, it's nice to be taught nice and soft and gentle. But guess what? We're running out of time. So you want to go on with the program? Let's put it that way. Wake up and do the work a little faster. There's no rush in the spirit world. In the other dimensions, there's no time. Time is an illusion that works only in this planet. But because I have a human body, and you too, and everybody else does, we go by with time. We need to use time. It's part of our way of living. So we need to get going. We need to move faster. We need to wake up and start doing the work. I share what I know anywhere I go. In Peru, we were holding once or twice circles. Whoever wanted to come, and we will sit and talk the way you and me are talking right now. You want to know something? We start talking about the subject you're curious about, or you have a problem with, or you want to know more about. Everybody talks, everybody shares. Why it's time to share our wisdom, to share it,
Mm.
because we need to reach people. We need to reach people. And also, everybody needs to realize that it can come from anybody.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be the medicine man, the grandfather or the grandmother, this person from I don't know what country. How about your neighbor? You don't like her, but she has wisdom.
Oh.
Listen to her wisdom. She's capable of love also. We all have light and
Mm.
dark. Well, you have been seeing her dark side. How about you start asking for her light? Maybe she's a nurse and she has a lot of stories to share and a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge and a lot of things that she has learned from humans in that situation. It's very delicate in a hospital. The true person comes out many times because they find themselves life and death situations. And those nurses that care for them learn a lot. She might be an alcoholic, she might smoke her head off all day long because she's trying to escape the pain that she sees every day, or maybe the pain she's suffering every day. And she's bitter, or she lashes out because she needs some kind of outlet, and you happen to be her outlet, your neighbor. Oh, she's a bitch, whatever. You have to go deeper and understand. Understanding doesn't mean excusing the person for their behavior. They're two different things. I understand why she reacts that way. I don't have to accept it. I don't have to take it.
Mm.
Get confused there. No, no. We came to share what we know. We came to share our wisdom. We're not responsible for anybody.
Mm.
I'm not responsible for what you're going to do with what I share with you. I'm responsible to a degree that if I see that it causes more harm than good, then I need to go do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have lived long enough, I've seen long enough, I have experienced many things, I have made a lot of mistakes. And you know something? When you make mistakes, is when you learn.
Mm.
You're walking and you step on that rock and cut your foot. Oh, okay, I had to sit down, heal myself, tend myself, and walk again. I get up and plop, I stand on the same rock again. Am I stupid? No, I'm careless.
Mm.
Eventually, I'm gonna. I get up and I walk and I go around the other way, or I look at the rock and say, okay, I'm not gonna step there. So making mistake is not a bad thing. You learn from your mistakes. Hopefully, a lot of people take a long time to learn from their mistakes, but they'll get there. Is the way to learn.
Mm-hmm.
How does a child learn to walk? By falling a lot of times. How does a child learn not to stick the finger in the fire? Yes, I bet you the first time you put a finger and got burnt, oh, that hurt. So that mistake was good. Mistakes are good. It teaches us. Now, they're bad when we don't learn from our mistakes. Then it's bad. But that's why we're meant to make mistakes since we're born, because it's the way we learn. It helps us see. It helps us get out of the box. It helps us notice things that we haven't noticed. If you have the intention of learning from your mistake, if you make a purpose, because that's something has to be, you have to be conscious. Every day in the morning you wake up, even if you have the same life, the same routine, the same, be aware of the mistakes. Be aware of, I wasn't feeling well and I responded nasty to my son, to my husband, to my mom, whatever. That wasn't good. What did I learn there? That I'm not conscious. I reacted. I went on automatic.
Mm-hmm.
I let my automatic pilot run my life instead of me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. I want to be conscious of my actions all the time. So, and besides the fact that it's a loved one, I don't need to do that with somebody I claim to love. So, I need to be more aware. Every day, all the time is a learning experience. Most of us go through the days on automatic pilot. And then we wonder why our lives are the way they are. Most of the time, we're not conscious of what we're doing. We're not 100% present. It's not bad, but are you getting the results you want? Probably not. What are you going to do about it? Be more conscious. How am I more conscious, more aware? Pay attention to your breathing. It's an automatic. It's like heart is pumping on automatic. Be aware of your breathing. You're going to be aware of your heart, how it pumps. Because you're going to feel it when you breathe. Instantly alters your blood flow. It brings you here in the now. Again, that's the ideal. We cannot do it 100% 24/7. It's not realistic. That's why we use the mistakes. We pay attention to our mistakes and we learn from our mistakes. Every day, I'm my master, I'm my student. First, it will give you more patience with other people. it will give you more understanding with other people. You will snap a lot less to other people. Hold your breath for 7. Breathing to count of 7. Hold the count of 7. Exhale the count of 7. Or if it's too long, 5. If you can hold it longer, 10. Whatever the number that works for you, it should be the same 3 times. Inhale, number, hold the same number, exhale the same number.
Mm.
And you can say, okay, I'm gonna do this 20 times. Your mind is gonna disappear because you're so focused on the breathing, on counting, on holding, on exhaling, that you're gonna be very, very present.
Mm-hmm.
You get angry, breathe. We get angry and we hold our breath. I do it. I do it all the time. It's easy said than done.
Mm-hmm.
There
Mm-hmm.
are times when it's a lot easier, and there are times when it's challenging. We all have our things, our challenges. So, no, we're not responsible for people. I'm responsible to be the best person I can be.
Mm.
So my energy will be felt by whoever is around me. And that's how we influence the world. If I get the chance to talk like I'm doing with you right now, oh, even better. But that doesn't happen all the time, which is okay.
Yeah.
Most people don't get in circles to share. Most people don't get in ceremonies because it's not part of their culture. And even if it's part of their culture, they were not brought up that way.
Mm-hmm.
Or they are discovering recently. That's okay. But I'm responsible for to make the best person of myself as I can. Love myself with all the good and the bad and the ugly. I cannot be talking about love and start hating myself because I am this way, I'm this way. No. Until the day I die, there are going to be things I'm going to be working on myself. Like a very good teacher I had that I just recently found out that passed away last year. At the end of the year, I was hoping to go see him. He actually was in California.
Mm.
He's the one who taught me something very important that helped me tremendously. It simplifies life. When you're looking for somebody, a teacher, a master, which can be anybody, don't look of how that person is, because we wear a lot of hats. Like, for example, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a caretaker of my parents, I share medicine, I hold circles, I talk, I work, have a lot of and many other hats. I'm not the same person in every single situation. I'm similar, but not the same, because the same person I am as a mother cannot be the same person I am as a wife. They're two different relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So other aspects of me are gonna come when I'm raising my children, well, my young adults, kids now, and other parts of myself are gonna come out in my relationship with my partner, with my husband, and so on. So why is this important to know? Because I could be an extremely amazing, let's say, medicine woman, if you want to call me in the circles. And I can be an extremely great psychologist, which is one of the things I studied. But I could be a lousy mother. And I could be a lousy wife. And I can be a good friend, but I can be lousy in other things. You're not always the same person in everything you do in your life.
Mm.
So when a medicine person shows up in your life and is arrogant, he thinks that she or he is hold the truth, over anybody. On top of it, charging a lot of money, that's which is another issue, the money part. How do I take that? He said to me, well, don't look at the person. Look at the information that person is sharing. Is it something that is important for you? Is it something that is going to be useful in your life? Yes. Then pay the price, go to the workshop or the week or the lecture, whatever it is. Take that piece of the puzzle into you. Thank that person. Bless it. Okay, you go your way, I go my way. I gather another part of my big, we all have big puzzles, missing pieces, information, knowledge, wisdom, um, tools, whatever you want to call it, that other people have. That's why we look for masters of any kind, school, high school, college, master degrees, at work. We're always looking for teachers, people that teach us how to do certain things, how to gain more knowledge in whatever it is that we're looking for. Don't look at the person. If you had to pay $100, $200, or $50 for that workshop, for that lecture, for that few days activity, whatever, do it. And if you can, you save your money and you, okay, here it is. And you obtain that knowledge that you really could use in your life, then that's good for you. It came that way. Don't pay attention to the person just because he's an arrogant bastard. Doesn't mean doesn't mean that the, I'm sorry, the language, um, doesn't mean he doesn't have wisdom to share. Mm. That person can be very arrogant, but he is very good at what he does. And the information he's sharing is something I need. So I go take it and bless his path and thank for coming into my life. And that's it. That person continues her life or his life, and I continue mine. It goes back to what I was saying. Everybody holds wisdom. Don't look at the package. Don't look at the eggshell. The eggshell can have all kinds of decorations. That's pointless. It doesn't represent anything. It's just a look. So the 7 generations, what we need to remember is what I received from my parents, from my lineage, all the good, the bad, and the ugly. I need to take care of it because it's in me. Not because blame my mom, oh, I got it from my mom, oh, I got it from my dad. Well, it's good to identify and recognize and know where it came from and what's mine and what is what I inherited. So what do I do with that? Well, it's in my body, it's in me, it's in my brain, my heart, it's in all me. So it's my responsibility to polish it, to make it better. So I can transfer it to my kids in a much better way. And that's the blood lineage. We can talk about wisdom, knowledge. We can talk about traditions, ceremonies. It's the same. We need to pass on the best. And it doesn't matter how much or how little, as long as it's the best. And that should be what guides it. And usually they say 7 because it takes 7 generations to inherit all the things. Let's say this is the grandmother, 7 generations, and this is the granddaughter. Well, what she had to reach this granddaughter is a complete circle. This granddaughter is going to start another 7 generations. So this granddaughter should take all her inherited spiritual, mental, physical, spiritual, and try to do the best of it. because she's the recipient of that to pass it on to the next 7 generations. So our responsibility is big. We're the beginning of the next 7 generations. What do we want to see in the world? How do we want to see in our human brothers and sisters? So we can talk and elaborate and get very complex, but in reality, it's very simple. Work on yourself, be responsible to make the best of you, polish yourself constantly. It's an ongoing work until the day we die. It's not like, well, I did a lot of work, now I can enjoy the results. We always have to cook, we always have to eat, and we always have to wash dishes, right? It's an ongoing process until the day we die. It's the same. It's the same. So that's my understanding about that. But that is definitely nobody's in charge of my evolution, of my growth, of my path. It's me. And I'm the only one responsible to how much I grow, how much I better myself, and how well I do it. And that's what I'm going to pass on. It's like the fire, right? All the way over here, I don't feel much. But if I put my hand, I can feel it. This is me. And that's my auric field with who I am, the essence. I influence whoever is around me, my immediate family, friends, co-workers, people. They'll feel the warmth of the fire. They feel my energy. That's the best I can do. We didn't come to change the world. We came to change our world, our little world. Some people will agree with me, some people will disagree with me. That's okay. The world is big. All of us fit with all our opinions. I'm sharing what I have lived, what I have discovered, what I have learned, what life had taught me. And that is my truth, of course, for me. And no, I don't expect everybody to agree, and I don't expect everybody to follow. I'm not looking for followers. No, that's creating handicapped people. I will share with you to be free with what I share. The world is big. Go look. Don't settle yourself for one person only or two. No. Learn from everybody. Everybody. Even your little dog can teach you.
Wow. Wolfila, I really felt like I was in a ceremony with you. I didn't expect for me to get so much medicine. I mean, or receive that much medicine. And it's really an honor to listen, you know, and take this message and spread it, but also like integrate it for my personal life. And there was just a lot of things that I was like, okay, I needed to hear that again. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to walk with that in my bundle. And I'm going to remember this. And, you know, every time we talk, I just feel like there's certain things that like you say that I'm like, wow, like I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life type of thing. And I still remember our conversation in Peru at the restaurant about being a mother. And
oh, that's a totally different story. And yeah, there are many subjects. That's why gathering in circles are great. You don't have to have a specific subject. We all have problems. We all have questions. We all have interesting situations. Just share one and let it roll from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what circles are all about. People have forgotten. Too much structure, too much rituals. Rituals are important. Why? Because it helps you bring something that is common and mundane into a sacred space.
Mm-hmm.
But rituals cannot be rigid. You cannot focus only on the ritual because then you lose the essence of what you developed that ritual for. The ritual is a path.
Mm-hmm.
The destination that that path is leading to is what you're looking for. So you develop your little ritual or your big ritual, and then you go for the circle.
Mm-hmm.
You talk and you share and you open your heart and you share. In ceremony, it's important to have on a regular basis circles to share anything, any knowledge. There's no social thing as a, oh, we don't talk about those things in a circle. Are you human? Then anything and everything you experience is part of life.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, it's part of the ceremony. Therefore, it's part of the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything has a lesson, everything has wisdom, and everybody has it. Then, if people don't know how to bring it up, then let's talk about it. Let's have a circle and talk about how to bring your wisdom, how to recuperate, how to bring it back into your present life. If you need tools, if you don't know where to start, and then let's do it. Let's talk about it. And it's a whole lot more simple than people think. You don't have to be a wise woman, a wise man. You have to live and pay attention to life
Mm.
to learn. That's all. And everybody's looking for that. Ooh, that amazing medicine person, that amazing this or that. He holds the wisdom. She holds the. No, I mean, yes. Don't get me wrong. Yes, yes, of course. He does. He does. But you too.
Mm.
It's not something that is special to some people. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's more accessible to everybody than what people believe. Years, centuries ago, it was more secret, yes, because the world wasn't ready for it.
Mm.
Not everybody was awake. A lot more people was asleep and were in a different um, evolutionary level. For lack of better words, I'm not putting people, some people are here and some people are here. No, there's no such a thing as a categories or hierarchies. No,
Mm.
but let's say we are all in college and you're studying psychology. Another one is studying other things.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the same level, different places, different things. So you're studying, I don't know, civil engineer, but that is so physical and so this and that that doesn't let you understand the biologists that deal with the animals. That doesn't mean you're better or he's better. No, just you're looking at things from a different point of view. So we have to figure out a way where we are in the same, we can understand each other. How do we do it? Relationships. We have to spend more time together. We need to talk more. We need to share more. We need to question each other. We need to put ourselves in different situations. Go out to eat, go see a movie, go to dance. I invite you home. I cook a special dessert. We spend time together. We develop the relationship so we can start to get to know each other, start to understand each other, so we can find a moment, a place where we can meet and you'll understand what I'm talking about from your point of view, and I can understand what I'm talking about to you from your point of view.
Mm.
Takes time. People are lazy. People want the easy way out. Then no, it needs to happen because I need it now. Well, it's not a magic pill that's gonna cure it all. No, it takes time. It takes effort.
Mhm.
Sometimes a lot more effort. So what?
Mhm.
That's why grandparents, grandfathers, grandmothers are wiser. They have spent all the life dealing with their crap and they have learned.
Mm.
No, you don't expect to just do a weekend or a week and oh, I'm also wise now. I'm ready to teach the world. uh, okay, let's start from zero again. It takes time. You need to invest time, energy, and be willing to make mistakes. Be willing to be quiet and listen.
Mhm.
You need to be willing to get out of your comfort zone and ask the questions you don't want to ask or you're embarrassed to ask. We all been there, all of us. What is hard for me might be easy for you, and vice versa. But you can understand me because let's say if it's hard for me to speak in public, but you're used to it, so oh come on, it's easy. Of course, from your point of view. But look for something that is hard to do for you. Let's say for you is I can't picture myself as a mother. I will never have children. I'm gonna be the worst mom. Well, that's easy for me. So we can meet each other what is hard for you and what is hard for me, and then we can understand each other. We don't compare with the same thing because it might be hard for me but easy for you. Then that doesn't help me, that doesn't help you. We're not meeting on the same space.
Mhm. Mm.
That's going to create more division. Meet me in the point that is difficult for you, and I'll meet you in my point that is difficult for me. Then we'll understand each other that is difficult. We'll be more patient with each other. We'll be more open to each other. And how do I learn all that? Living life, making mistakes, uh, paying attention to the details in life. They're great teachers.
Mm.
Like I told you, I can go on and on and on. Unless you ask a question or tell me, okay, next, I can go on and on. I'm used to it because like I said, in Peru, we were having circles once, twice, or sometimes 3 times a week. It depends on people's needs, or if somebody will call me and say, well, I have this issue and I would like to learn about this. And I said, okay, let's have a circle. So I'll call a few people. Usually it was a short notice, so not a lot of people could be on a, you know, short notice gathering. But even 3 people is a circle. 4 people is a circle. 2 people is a circle.
Mhm.
Don't have to have 10, 20 people. No, small circles. And now with the Zoom, Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever, we do it this way.
Yeah.
And we talk and we share. Everybody have their own sacred space. And because it's ceremonial, meaning, what do I mean when it's ceremonial? Okay, a ceremony is what the difference is different than a social gathering. Why? Because we're talking about something that is difficult for us, or I'm sharing something that people want to know, my point of view or my experience, and I'm talking to a different part of yourself. I'm talking not to your physical body, your physical ears, your physical eyes, your physical mind. I'm talking to your spirit. We're sharing from that level. How do we make it spiritual? How do I make it ceremonial? Okay, since the moment I know that I'm going to meet with you, I'm thinking about the gathering. I'm not planning. I'm connecting spiritually with my own spirit. So I put my manta, my cloth, my special cloth where I sit. In my case, I have my tobacco, my mapachos, which are rolls of black tobacco from the Amazon jungle, which is very strong. I have my different kinds of tobaccos, my rattle, my chonta, which is a very hard wood from the jungle also, very sacred, very powerful. Have a piece of my ayahuasca and few other things here. And I develop my ritual. How do I get it out? How do I place it? How do I connect with each one of them? And they all mean something and has a connection with me. That's why I invite them to be in my sacred space. Then I have my incense, my sage, I have my pipe, and I smoosh my room. I prepare with what I'm going to wear. In this case, I have my whale, very sacred animal that I work with. That's a different story, but shark teeth, another power animal that I work with. That's a different story. My ring that I always wear in my ceremonies, it represents Mother Earth. And a few other things, some crystals. This crystal that is salt, crystallized salt from Peru, special crystal there. And then I normally, in this time, I light up a mapacho and I smoosh everything. I did it with the incense this time. And, but I like to connect with tobacco. It's my power plant in a manner of speaking, where I connect since I was 19. And that's a total, another story. Very interesting. Maybe one day I can share it with you. Tobacco found me. I wasn't looking for tobacco. And then I wasn't thinking of what we were going to talk. I was trying to be open and be available to your questions or your concerns or your requests. And that is what you do when you open your sacred space and when you gather in a circle. And that makes it different than a regular gathering, social gathering. And so, and other things, it doesn't have to be specific. This is my way. It can be more complex, or it can be more simple. I always wear a skirt, because in our tradition, in all native traditions, women wear skirts. Why? The skirt is a circle, unity. We're connecting with our body easier to Mother Earth, because the pants kind of close the connection between the legs, our roots. And that can be another subject to talk about: skirts, sacred spaces. Some people call them altars. That's too religious for me. I call it sacred space. Going back to the changing some words. And that's how I bring my energy, not just not my physical mind or my physical body, not my eggshell. No, I'm bringing what's inside the eggshell. And I bring these objects that at some point were just regular, mundane objects, and now they're special and they are powerful and they are sacred, because I only handle them when I'm opening my sacred space, when I'm in the circles, and they help me. They're tools, they're companions, they are friends that I invite to be with me here. So it's not just me talking, tobacco is talking, the rattles are talking, the ayahuasca is talking, the chonta is talking, the matches are talking, the cloth are talking. All of them are talking.
I think that's a good space to end it and the interview. I just like, wow, you just go and it's just so much, it's so much information. It's not for me to integrate personally. And I'm probably going to listen to this a lot, and I am praying, I could show this to my children one day, like this amazing medicine or this amazing medicine person, because everyone is medicine person, but this amazing woman that I met in Peru, you know, her wisdom here. That's the main reason why I wanted to start these two is these interviews with these elders, is because the common man does have wisdom, and to share that common wisdom with each other, it's like we're connecting in that space and that circle. And I really feel I feel you like lighting up my heart, my mind, my body, my spirit, but also like my sacred space and all around me and my family and our house. And it just, you know, creator and the spirits that you call in and that work with you, it just, they're really radiant. And so thank you for sharing and expressing and mingling with me and giving me advice. And I'll take this into my bundle. And you know, I still want to connect more. And you just go, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So now I'm gonna take the rest of my night to like to really integrate it and feel into it and be like, okay, you know, how could I apply what she said into my daily life? And how can I, the main thing I got from this whole interview is, you know, how can I connect to things around me more and relating and having them being companions. And I really like how you said the rattles are talking, and the, you know, everything that you're in is in your space is talking. And I really appreciate that message. I appreciate the message of, you know, just coming together. The unity is so strong in you, and I feel that. So thank you for sharing your unity with me to remind me again, you know, that I'm not anyone's savior. I sometimes have to put myself in check, right? Because I love people so much and I just want to help, but it's like, you know, boundaries and lines, and there's many different segments. um we should just connect like at least monthly, like regardless of, like, not an interview, just connect, you know, can stay connected because you're so close. And
And now that with this virus, people are connecting in different levels because from other countries they can connect. And the beauty of this, which we have always to try to look at the bright side, at the light side of it, is what the virus has brought us is a unity in a different level. We're using, in this case, the technology. So yeah, once a week, I mean, once a month, or how often you want, just you, other people, maybe among the people who are going to hear this video or watch this video, somebody wants to learn more, somebody wants to share more, but let's gather, let's gather.
yes.
And this can be a new way of doing it. And we don't have, I mean, you're in California, I'm in Florida, we're so far away.
But we're close,
Um,
closer than Peru, you know.
exactly. And so, you know, it's possible. Anything is possible once we want to.
Mm.
And one suggestion, when you listen to this video again, have a notebook. Write down everything that you want to think about, ponder about, remind yourself about, and have a diary. And have a diary with your dreams, with your actions, realizations, the moments of, aha, that's it. You find yourself doing what you were thinking or what you heard, write it down. Why? You're going to start getting to know yourself.
Mm.
Read everything you have written in 2 years. And you're going to say, oh my goodness, look. And you're going to realize everything is like an onion. You went through one layer, then the second layer. I was talking with my son the other day about that. And I'm thinking, and I thought I went through this already and I master it, like they say. Yeah, sure. It's an onion. It was just another layer. Okay, I see, I get it. This too is another onion. So you're gonna find a lot of onions everywhere in your life. Because a layer after layer after layer after layer. And when you think you're getting there, there's more layers and there's more layers. That's why.
Mm.
No, we cook, we eat, and we have dirty dishes regular basis, on a regular basis. So let's go the dishes all the way until we die.
That is
Well,
so good.
I would love to continue talking, but yeah, it's time to. It's time to. I want to thank you for the opportunity of sharing. Uh, like I said, oh, I would love to talk about so many more things, but I usually in the circles, when I find myself like this, I ask a question. What do you want to know? Do you have you feel stuck in your life somewhere? Is there something that you have always pondered about and haven't found many answers? And we start from there. One thing leads to another. Now the new thing is sacred plants, all the regalia. I love those feathers. Where can I find a feather? Everybody's into feathers. Nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful. It's sacred in many communities, in many cultures. Drums, I mean, you name it. But why you want it? What is it gonna bring into your life? And what you going to give to them? People think because I have, this is a duck feather that I found in my front lawn because there's a family of ducks that live in the neighborhood and they come and I feed them and one day they left me a feather. Oh great, I have a feather or an eagle feather or a hawk's feather or a raven. Great. And I put it in my hair and I put it here and my hat. Great. It's a thing if you treat it like that.
Mm.
This belongs to duck. What am I going to do for the duck? Not for the duck in that one in particular. For the birds, for the animals. What is the exchange? It's always energetic. The same if I bought a beautiful necklace for my ceremonies. Okay, this was made by a person. This symbolizes the whales. So am I only taking energy from the whales? What am I giving?
Mm.
So what do I want it for? I want it because I'm so needy that I need it because it's gonna bring so much goodness to my life. Okay, where's the exchange? It's a give and take. Like we say in my country, today for you, tomorrow for me. Meaning we help each other. There always should be an exchange. Now everybody uses money to exchange. That's very easy. Very easy, almost insulting. Don't give me money. Don't pay. I don't also ask for money. I'm not asking for things also. But if you think this is valuable, and I'm not talking to you, Sierra, I'm talking to whoever is listening to this video. If you are expecting something, what are you giving? So are you so poor that you can't give anything? Don't give it back to me. Give it to somebody who actually needs it. Why? And no, okay, let's put it this way. We are changing this information. We sharing all my knowledge and stuff, and somebody learns it, and somebody wants to do something in exchange. Okay, one suggestion. That person that drives you nuts at work, your neighbor in school, whatever, try to get to know that person and why he's driving you nuts. That's the exchange. Why? You're really gonna learn right there. You're really gonna put in practice what you're learning, what I'm sharing with you. And that's you pay your aini, like we say in my country.
Mm.
they even exchange with life.
Mm.
Because all this knowledge and all this, life have given it to me. So you don't owe me anything. You owe life. So why are you gonna give to life for what you have received? Something that is not easy. It's easy to give somebody a burger or sandwich. It's easy to give somebody $5. It's easy. Yeah, I get it. No, you have to give something that is hard for you to give. Your time,
Mm.
your understanding, your patience. Dealing with a person that drives me nuts. I want to kill him or her or whatever. She's so hypocritical. I don't want to deal with her. Okay, it's triggering something in you. And maybe with you're completely right. Deal with that person. Maybe you won't be friends, but you won't hate each other so much after a while if you put an effort. And that's your payment to life. We do that, the world will be a whole lot better. Again, it's easy said than done. I'm not a master in that by far. I'm dealing with that issue right now. That's why I'm using the example. So, anyway, thank you so much. Hayaya, I will say in my country.
Thank you. Wopida. Wopida. Klaso klamakli. Wopida. Wopida. Words cannot describe my gratitude. It's an honor. It really is an honor to share medicine with you. Thank you.